want you tonight to turn your attention to Luke, the 17th chapter. And I want to come, I think, 11th through the 19th verse. Once again, Luke 17. And I want to start at the 11th verse and read down to the 19th. And I'm reading this out of the NIV version, okay? This is where Jesus heals the 10 men with leprosy. Now, on the way to Jerusalem, Jesus traveled along the border between Samaria and Galilee. As he was going into a village, 10 men who had leprosy met him. They stood at a distance and called out in a loud voice, "Jesus, Master, have pity on us." When he saw them, he said, "Go, show yourselves to the priests." And as they went, they were cleansed. 15th verse. Really focus in on the 15th verse. One of them, when he saw he was healed, came back, praising God in a loud voice. He threw himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him. And he was a Samaritan. Jesus asked, "Were not all 10 cleansed? Where are the other 9? 18th verse. Has no one returned to give praise to God except this foreigner?" Then he said to them, "Rise and go. Your faith has made you well." I want to look back at verse 15, if you will. One of them, when he saw he was healed, came back praising God in a loud voice. He threw himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him. And he was a Samaritan. One of them? Which one was it? We know the answer, the Samaritan. This one leper turns around. He is surrounded by 9 other lepers. We've been given just a little information about these lepers. We know that they're outside Jerusalem, somewhere near Samaritan. We don't know a lot about these men except that there is something wrong with them. It's amazing how we form colonies with dysfunction. We surround ourselves with people like us so we can feel normal. So even in the Bible days when leprosy would attack and there was no healing for it, there was still a need for community. You ever notice, those of you that may have grown up in the ghetto, all of the winos, they be together and they're playing whatever, chess, checkers. And then over there, the drug addicts are over. You know, people surround themselves with people, that are similar to them so that they can feel normal. So even in the Bible days, when leprosy would attack, they could not go to hospitals and pharmacies and all of that. There was no healing for it. There was still a need, though. People still had a need for community. These lepers were rejected from their previous communities and declared unclean so that all together they could at least have fellowship even in their crisis. They knew that they could no longer go back home and their families were no longer there for them. So they got together and they had their own fellowship even in their crisis. Jesus does not give us the names of the 10 lepers. They are outside of the city. We know that. Outside of the cosmopolitan. They are outside of where business is going on. They are outside of the temple where worship exists. Low self-esteem, did you know that, can make you feel like an outsider? Got to watch that. Anytime that's creeping on you or you have recognized that it's in you, it will wreck your life. So low self-esteem can make you feel like an outsider. A mistake that you may have made or a crisis that you went through can make you feel like an outsider. You only feel comfortable around people really who are just as broken and crippled as you are. Crippled seems normal. Weak and broken seems normal to you when you're around people that are crippled and people that are broken and people that have low self-esteem. But you got to dismiss all of that. As a matter of fact, you dismiss thoughts many times of escaping. There's a spirit that comes to you and say, you're better than this, get out of this. But you refuse to do it. You don't feel that I cannot escape. Because if I get around people who are doing well, and I know that I'm not, then I'll have to address how different they are from me and me from them. So I'll just stay where I am because I know this crowd. 10 lepers standing far away, the Bible says, from Jesus, but they knew who he was. You know what? Don't stop witnessing. Do not stop witnessing. Now, we know there are a lot of people who don't go to church, they go to clubs, they do all kinds of things, but they know something about him. But they need to get in some kind of predicament and need somebody to just come straight with them to let them know that there is a way out. And you need to just still tell them about the Lord. But these 10 lepers were standing far away from Jesus, but they knew he was, because the Bible said they shouted out to him, I don't deserve it, but have mercy on me. Jesus says, go show yourself to the priest. Jesus didn't say be whole. He didn't say be healed. He said just go show yourself to the priest. They were challenged by Jesus to get out of their construct, out of the situation, boils and open sores and all of that, where they were. He was constructed. He was saying, get out of your construct. They were challenged to get out of their comfort zone, if you will, that they had established. They were challenged to get out of their familiar. We must take risks. Take a chance. Take a chance of showing our true selves, not who we are pretending to be. Go show yourself to the priest, not who we want to feel like we're like, not who you would like to be, not who you want me to think or us to think you are. Show your authentic, show your original self to the priest. He knows anyways. But go show yourself to the priest. Notice that 14th verse. He said, and they all corporately said, let me put it this way. They corporately turned when Jesus said, go show yourself to the priest. They all corporately turned to show themselves to the priest. Just imagine what faith it took to do that. Jesus did not lay hands on them. These people were contaminated, but he just spoke a word. Just imagine what faith it took for them to do that. Go show yourself to the priest, to turn around and head to the priest. That's powerful. Danielle spoke last night about being faithful. Still infected, but yet they were moving. Still infected, knowing that they did get a word from the Lord. They may have been standing afar off, but they knew him. Jesus had not touched none of them, but they moved. They moved on a word. They moved on what they heard. They moved forward. But they were walking this time by faith. They were challenged to walk by faith in spite of. Oh, the Lord knew the conditions that they were in because he knew why they were a colony. But in spite of all of that, he said, go show yourself to the priest. It didn't look like in the moment things had changed, but they were still walking. But on a word, they walked by faith. Jesus is calling us to be transparent. And if you don't make up your mind to be transparent, there are going to be things that come up in your life. He can cause things to come up in your life that you will finally make a decision to stop putting on airs and be transparent. Jesus is calling for authenticity. Something's wrong with your message. Oh my God, something wrong. Even in our lives, things can be wrong. But one thing I've learned, keep walking. There's something wrong with your body. Keep walking. You've been attacked in your body. Keep walking. Went to bed feeling great. Got up, your legs weren't working. Went to bed feeling good. This thing happened. Went to bed, woke up, your hearing is not what it used to be. There's something wrong, but keep walking. Yes, your credit is bad. Keep walking. Show yourself to the priest. Just keep walking. Why would Jesus send these people to the priest? I'm glad you asked. These unclean, these undesirable and disconnected and rejected people, what would the priest do with 10 lepers? Priests, don't heal. Oh no, priests, that's not their job to heal. Priests perform miracles. Do not perform miracles. I'm sorry. Let me back up. Priests do not perform miracles. Priests do not heal. Priests issue sacraments. Now, if you go and have a little time and you study Numbers 19, 1 through 10, God introduces Aaron and Eleazar to the red heifer. The red heifer was used to cleanse the unclean. The red heifer was used in ritual purification. The red heifer, the unblemished red heifer, is sacrificed outside of the camp, and then it would be burned down to ashes. And these ashes were used to create a purification of water. This water then is used to purify individuals who have been ritually unclean due to contact with death or other impurities. That was the significance of the red heifer. This operation, watch me now, was not to cleanse, but to declare you clean. What did I say? This operation was not to cleanse, but to declare you clean. It's one thing to be cleansed, but it's another thing to be declared clean. Okay, let me give you an example. Christ was the anointed one before John the Baptist pointed him out. But Jesus still needed a declaration. So at the Jordan River, John said, "Behold the Lamb of God." Oh my goodness, he pointed him out. And then the heavens opened up, remember? And God said, "This is my son, in whom I'm well pleased." The lepers were going filthy. They were walking, and they were walking filthy to the priest to be declared clean. Because when Jesus told them to go show themselves to the priest, no matter what it looked like, it was already done. But look, they were walking filthy. They were walking, but they had already the word had already went out on them. Scripture said these lepers were healed as they went. It's not heal me so I can go, Lord. No. You will be healed as you go. Heal me, Lord, so I can go and do a work for you. No, you will be healed as you go. It may not look good right now. Just keep on walking, sister. Keep on walking, Sister Tanisha Williams. Things may not be exactly the way you desire them to be, but just keep on walking, my sister Keisha. The word is at work. Just keep walking. You got a word. You're walking on a word. You're walking on the water of the word. I was thinking about, you remember the guy Chadwick Boseman? He was the Black Panther. Still working, y'all. He was still working. He was still walking with cancer, 4th stage, and also in between chemo treatments. That man was still acting and working and all those different scenes and how he had to, you can walk with it. I don't care what comes against you. You can walk with it. You being healed as you go. The devil ain't running nothing. You just keep walking. I love that right there, Shannon. That's right. Keep walking. You're being healed as you go because you're walking on a word. You're not just somebody just going taking a trip. You journeying on a word. Go show yourself to the priest. Walk with it. They may be laughing at you. That's okay, Sister Green, but walk with it. The challenge is walk in it anyways. Walk with it anyways. Go forth anyways. Hell breaking loose, go on anyway. Trouble everywhere, go ahead anyway. Show yourself to the priest. Walk with it and say it, say it, say it. Say it, just say I'm walking with it. And it makes hell nervous. I'm still going forth. It makes hell nervous. Walk in faith, stay in faith, and discourage Satan. He's always trying to discourage you. You discourage him. You can walk with it. He's cleansing you as you go. I don't care what your it is. Whatever it is, he's cleansing you as you go. Just do it. Because the power is in obedience. The power is in the obedience. Somewhere on the journey of life, things begin to change. Oh my God, while the lepers walked, the miracle happened. While you walk, your children have come into obedience. While the lepers walked, the miracle happened. While you walk, your children have come into obedience. While you walk, your marriage is healed. Oh my God, you don't know when you stop grieving. You were just grieving, and it looked like you could never get out of grieving. And then all of a sudden, you don't know when he did it, it just lifted. Because you kept on walking on the word. Your heart stopped bleeding. You stopped being concerned about how you were being mistreated. You don't know when your heart stopped bleeding. All you know is stop bleeding. Walk with it. Walk with it. Just keep walking. You stopped looking backwards. And you know what? And you started looking forward. And you came out of grief. You came out of hurt. You came out of all of that was designed to keep you back. The lepers were healed and cleansed as they walked, as they went. But one was whole. He got a revelation. I'm going to tell you what happened with him. He got a revelation that challenged tradition. Oh, he got a revelation that challenged the tradition. 9 kept walking to the priest that they were familiar with. This one perceived that his priest was behind him. Can I talk tonight? Great decisions have to be made in your life. Do I go with the former or do I go with the latter? Do I go with tradition or do I go with revelation? Do I go with what was or do I go with what is? Only one got the revelation of who his priest was. The one that spoke that word is the priest for me. Which one will you go with tonight? Revelation over information or information and no revelation? Will you follow the traditions of your fathers or the revelation of this moment? This one cried with a loud voice and said, what you scared of? Why you can't cry out to the Lord? Who are you scared of? Who are you timid? This one cried with a loud voice, and the Bible said, glorify God. I'm here to tell you that a shout provokes a victory. Don't let people get you somewhere quiet and you can't shout out to the Lord. A shout demands deliverance. Listen, 1 out of 10 came back to Jesus. Can I tell you what that is? A tithe. 1 out of 10 came back to Jesus. That's a tithe. See, the tithe provokes the presence of the Messiah. That tithe will tear down a yoke in your life. That tithe will tear down a system that has been over your family. That tithe will tear down a circumstance that is standing before you. The Bible says he fell at Jesus' feet and glorified him. Then Jesus, didn't he ask the question, where? Where's the 9? I'll tell you where the nine are. The 9 are walking in what was said. And the 1 is walking in what the Lord is saying. See, because when he said, show yourself to the priest, he walked with them. But then he got a revelation, baby. See, some people are still walking according to what was said first. But in the walk, There should be something that should have taken place in your heart and in your mind. And that's what happened to that one. He was walking in what is being said, what is saying, what is being saying, not what was said. You want to be whole and not needing someone to fill you up and you got to be obligated to people. You have to go to the right priest. That man turned around. His priest was behind him. You want to be whole? You cannot make people your priest. Stop trying to get in gangs and cliques and your girlfriend in the church and your boyfriend in the church, and you stop all of that. That's why there's no growth in you. You want to be whole. You don't want to just be healed. You want to be whole. You can't make things your priest. I got this, I got that. I just bought this girl. I got this man. I got this. No. You want to be whole. You can't make things your priest. They become your idols. They'll become a burden and you'll remain fragmented. Go back to the one that spoke the word over you to begin with. Jesus, have mercy. Go show yourself to the priest. And he walked with the others. But I'm telling you what happened. Things begin to happen in that man's heart. Things begin to happen in that man's spirit. And he began to get a revelation. Whenever you get a revelation, the Spirit of God is speaking into your isness. You're the very core of your existence. And you're hearing things what other people don't hear. Go back to the one that spoke the word over you to begin with. That man did that. And he laid at the feet of Jesus. See, one of the things that we don't do anymore is get at the feet of Jesus and lay all of our burdens, lay all of our cares, lay it all down. I'm going to ask you this question and I'm going to give it up tonight. What do you give back to God? When that man turned around, he was the 10th. Turn around and be the 10th. Even let's go to the teaching about the 10th. Why are you withholding the 10th? It belongs to God. He's a good God. He's a big God. And if he can give you and trust you with 100%, why can't you trust him with 10? Give him that 10th to work with. Be that 10th that he can work through. God bless you tonight is my prayer.